All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a physical education chapter, and, well, we're basically turning it into your personal locker room playbook for the beautiful game. So, whether you're lacing up your cleats for the very first time, or maybe you're just looking to truly understand the mechanics of the sport on a deeper level, we are going to break down the absolute fundamental skills of football.
Okay, so here's our training schedule for today. We've got 6 main areas: the beautiful game, mastering the inside kick, the art of trapping, defense and interception, knowing the field, and finally, evaluating your game. Let's get right into it.
Section 1, the beautiful game. Let's kick things off by looking at some football basics.
So football, or soccer, depending on where you are, is this massive, high-stakes 11-on-11 matchup. The goal? Pretty straightforward. Just kick the ball into the opponent's net. But the rules of engagement are what make it so incredibly dynamic. You can use your feet, your head, your chest, basically your whole body to control the ball. But hands? Absolutely off limits. Literally, the only exception on the entire pitch is the goalkeeper. It's a game that demands peak fitness, incredible teamwork, and razor-sharp coordination. And honestly, that's exactly why it's the most watched sport globally. I mean, just look at the massive draw of the FIFA World Cup.
Moving on to Section 2, master the inside kick. Time to get into the physical mechanics.
Now, the actual anatomy of this kick is super interesting. The inside kick is really your bread and butter, your absolute go-to move out there. It's the core fundamental skill that you're going to use constantly, whether you're passing, shooting, or just trying to control the ball. Notice how the foot connects right at the absolute center, perfectly behind the ball. That is exactly where the power and control come from.
But executing this, well, it's not just about wildly swinging your leg. It actually requires a highly precise 3-step sequence. First up is the approach. You've got to align with the direction of the ball and firmly plant your non-kicking foot about 6 to 8 inches away, pointing right at your target. Second is the execution itself. You swing that kicking leg, but here's the crucial part. You have to lock your ankle with your toes pointing outward. That ensures the flat, inside part of your foot is what makes contact. And finally, step 3, the follow-through. Your kicking foot needs to naturally continue in the exact direction of your target. That's how you lock in accuracy.
All right, Section 3, the art of trapping. Because, passing is great, but what happens when that ball comes rocketing right back at you? That's exactly where step trapping comes in. It's the essential skill for stopping and controlling a pass. Step 1 is your approach. The second you're ready to trap, you absolutely must get your body squared up and completely behind the line of the incoming ball. From there, it instantly shifts into a mental game of anticipation. You're having to rapidly judge the direction, the path in the air, and exactly how that ball is going to bounce before it even reaches your feet.
Okay, so you've got your offensive mechanics locked in. You're kicking, you're trapping, the ball is moving beautifully. But football is a two-way street, right? The big question is, what do you actually do when the other team has the ball? How do you disrupt their attack?
Which brings us right to Section 4. Defense and interception. Let's flip the playbook and look at stopping the opponent.
The holy grail of defense, the interception. It's an incredibly proactive move. An interception isn't just reacting. It's all about reading the game, anticipating the play, and literally taking possession of the ball before it ever reaches its intended target. It takes a ton of focus and split-second timing.
And you can really see what that kind of pressure looks like in action. When two players are actively battling for possession, it's intense. Real defense means applying serious, relentless pressure. You're constantly trying to guess their passing strategies, all while the offensive player is desperately trying to figure out how to dodge you. Honestly, it's like a high-speed game of chess out there.
Now, if you want to completely lock down an opponent, you use what's called person-to-person marking. This is a defensive strategy where one defender is basically glued to an opposing player. Your single job here is to stay so unbelievably close to them that you refrain them from even being able to receive a pass. You are just shadowing their every single move.
Section 5, knowing the field. Because having the physical skills is only half the battle.
The source text highlights this really cool exercise where players put together a football ground puzzle to learn the layout. Because look, the dimensions of the pitch are definitely not random. They're strictly regulated by international bodies. Understanding these specific zones, the boundaries, the exact measurements, it's absolutely crucial for your spatial awareness when you're in the heat of a match. You've got to know your battlefield.
And that leads us to our final section, Section 6, evaluating your game.
Football is huge on the physical side.
but it's also incredibly mental and emotional. A vital chunk of this chapter actually focuses on circle time reflections. This is where players sit down, discuss personal behavior, and really appreciate strong play. But more importantly, it emphasizes recognizing distress signals. You need to be looking out for things like discomfort in movement, unexpected bruises, intense pain, or honestly, just reading a teammate's facial expressions. It's a great reminder that your own safety and the safety of everyone else on the pitch is literally the top priority.
So let's tie it all together and see how this builds into a complete player evaluation. Looking at the teacher assessment rubric, it tracks a player's journey from a level 1 beginner all the way to a level 5 master, and the progression is really clear. Take passing. A beginner is basically just trying to spot a teammate, right? But a master? They're hitting passes with total confidence and pinpoint accuracy. Dribbling goes from just trying to keep control to using both feet completely effortlessly. Goalkeeping scales up from learning basic positioning to completely commanding the box and distributing the ball like a pro. But check out that last row, self-distress. I love this. A true level 5 player doesn't just master the ball, they have complete control over their emotions, and they fully understand how to identify and manage their own feelings out on the field.
Because at the end of the day, understanding those kicking mechanics, mapping out your defensive strategies, really knowing the field, and tracking your own physical and emotional limits, that is what makes you a complete, well-rounded footballer. You've got the playbook directly from the source now. The only question left is, how are you going to use it to master both the physical and mental game the next time you step onto the pitch?